Yes, everybody, welcome back in the building, and the vibes are immaculate this morning. Well, this morning if you're in the UK for sure, because it's 11 a.m. there. But guys, it looks like we're very advanced on both Milos Kerkez and Florian Wirtz. But first, let's talk about Milos Kerkez because it seems like Fabrizio Romano is saying that will be our second. Here we go of the summer already. We're what, June 4th? June 4th. And it seems like we want to get our business done early this summer. Obviously, Jeremy Frimpong has already been announced, and now he's saying we're just in that final round of talks with Kerkez. Personal terms have been agreed. Now it's just about structuring the fee, which will be around £40 million for Kerkez. The negotiations are ongoing right now with Bournemouth. We just need to get that over the line, and it seems like it could be a done deal by today, you guys. And then Florian Wirtz, obviously, we saw yesterday on his story posting about the Liverpool transfer. Like, how often do you hear players publicly coming out about a transfer and not denying it? So clearly it's very advanced. He denied wanting the 10 shirt, right, that Maka currently holds. But guys, he did not deny the Liverpool move. So it also seems like Wirtz is just on the brink of being a Liverpool player as well. So this is a beautiful time to be alive, you guys. How's everybody feeling? I see little Timmy's in the building. Julian's in the building. Guys, how are we feeling right now? How are we feeling? This is a special time to be alive right now. Logan, nice to see you in the building. Pratik, I'm doing well. Like I said, I have that buzz right now about... Bro, I just have that buzz around where we're headed for next season. You know, it seems like we're on the brink of building a super team. I'm just thinking about... I do think PSG will have the best fullback pairing, continue to have the best fullback pairing, because you saw what Hakimi and Nuno Mendes did in the Champions League this season. It's unbelievable, that fullback pairing, right? I have to respect that. But after that, you guys, imagine being a team that has to face, let's say, for example, Lucho and Salah on the wings, and then you have Kerkez and Frimpong bombarding on the sides. Bro, like, it's just going to be... We're going to be such a menace out wide. And then down the middle too, I don't know how teams will deal with us either, because we have the likes of Maka, we have the likes of Gravenberg, Szobo, Florian Wirtz. Hopefully, like, bro, it just seems like we're going to be a team that's just going to elevate to another level next season. And what I love as well is when you think about whoever the first team that's going to face us next season, it's going to be impossible for teams to know how we're going to set up, because we're going to be a completely different team to last season that already won the league. And I'm just like so hyped thinking about that, because to think that you win the league in April and yet you want to elevate to different levels just shows that Slot and our recruitment team mean business. Mean business, baby. Who are you supporting, Germany or Portugal? I just want a great game of football, to be honest. I just want a great game of football. Yeah, bro, lover. It was class meeting Pep. But yeah, I just want a great game of football, you guys. And Florian Wirtz watch, obviously, is what I'm so focused on. So hopefully Diogo Jota hat-trick and Florian Wirtz 4 goals. And then he takes off his shirt and he shows, I'm coming to Liverpool, baby. That would be a beautiful way to announce it. But no, obviously unlikely. But who knows? Who knows? Siberian Republic, nice to see you in the building. What's good? Felix says, watching this instead of doing homework, I couldn't do this. I couldn't do my homework with the way that the transfer window's going either. We're definitely cooking, bro. We are cooking. Man, that's what I mean. I'm just thinking about how we could potentially set up next season, and it's just got me way too excited, you guys. It's got me way too excited. Blue says, this guy made me like Liverpool. Big up, bro. Which center back do you want this summer? I think it just depends with Kwanzaa. Scary hours if you're a rival of Liverpool. Absolutely, it's scary hours. And what's such a good sign for us too is... I've never really seen us go this bold and this big in a transfer window. And the fact we've done that after just one season of Arne Slot, our new boss who took over from the iconic Jurgen Klopp, also says a lot, you guys. Because for me, the fact that we are going so big in this window also tells me that the whole structure around Liverpool Football Club, so from John Henry to Edwards to Richard Hughes, all the levels, when you look at the hierarchy, fully back him, our new boss, after just one season at the club. And for me, that's also such a good sign of what's to come, because their standards are very, very high. So the fact that the level of trust is that high for our new boss, bro, guys, this says a whole lot. It says a whole lot. Brad says, yo, Leo, I'm in the building. So excited for the Kerkez deal. Yes, bro. Devendra says, who do you think will sign after Kerkez and Wirtz? So I think after those two, because we've pretty much signed 3 players that could be starters for match week 1. I mean, Kerkez and Wirtz definitely would be. Frimpong, let's see, because he'll fight for that position with Connor Bradley, who we know is unbelievable as well. But I think after these 3 big signings, I think we start to sell. I think, that there's question marks around the future. I mean, we've already pretty much brought in close to 30 million pounds, which already is a decent amount given it was Trent leaving early. We got around 10 million pounds for that from Real Madrid, and Kelleher deal to Brentford, we got around 18 million pounds. So we've almost already raised 30 million pounds. But I think whose future is kind of in doubt. I think Costas will likely leave, right? Costas, because we're not going to have 3 senior left backs. There's no way of that. I think Joe Gomez or Kwanzaa could potentially leave, right? One of those two. I think Tyler Morn will leave. I think Harvey Elliott will likely leave if Wirtz comes in. I think Darwin will leave. And I think one of Chiesa, Jota, or Lucha will leave. One of those 3. So we're talking about 4 to 5 players there that will move on and bring in pretty good funds as well. So yeah, I think the next step after, again, these 3 bold signings, they are big signings, I think we start to sell. And depending on how well we sell, I think that will give us the budget to go for the next 2 positions that I believe we'll target. So a striker and a center back. For me, those are the 2. Those are the 2. And like I said, I think one of Joe Gomez or Kwanzaa will leave this summer. And that's what I think will facilitate a move for a center back. How did we get 10 million for Trent? I don't know, bro, but it's absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. We're all watching Wirtz tonight. Yeah, guys, for any of you that are free tonight, come join our watch along. I'll be live 5 minutes before kickoff for the Germany-Portugal game so we can be on Florian Wirtz watch. I'm hyped. Uchiwa says, like I said yesterday, let's trust the process. We're not going to stop even after getting these 2 deals done. Big up to our boss. He has more than 1 card up his sleeves. W's in the building. Absolutely. Guys, can we just spam W's in the building right now? Because what a time to be alive. Let's just say what a time to be alive. You don't know already in the first 2 weeks of the transfer window, the amount of messages I've gotten from rival fans or rival content creators who have just messaged me and they've been like, what is going on with Liverpool? Usually you don't mean business in windows and they're like scared of how Liverpool will look next season. And I love getting those type of messages because yeah, we usually don't spend much money. Let's be real, but let's spam those W's because the fact that we are, I think also shows we learned our lesson from the past. Guys, I think we learned our lesson from the past, which remember the last time we won the league, I forget what exactly our window was, but we didn't go bold the next summer. And I think we learned our lesson. We were patient. We didn't spend much. Obviously, we spent little to nothing last summer, and we stayed to go big this summer. And I just can't wait because I think after these 3 signings, hopefully, we still obviously have to get Kerkez and Florian Wirtz over the line. But I think, like I said, once we sell those 4 to 5 players, I think we go back in the market, and I think we could have 4 to 5 signings this summer. And when I say 4 to 5 signings, I don't mean like squad players. You see that the first 3 are players that could start from match week 1. You know what I mean? Like, it's unbelievable. It's absolutely unbelievable. So, yeah, guys, I'm way too hype. It's beautiful to be a Liverpool supporter right now. I know. Could Kerkez technically take a homegrown spot? I'm not sure about that, actually. That's a good question. I'm not sure. Because he did come to England at a very young age. But I don't think he came before the age of 18, so I don't think so. Hydrate on retaining the league. It can be done for sure. I got you, bro. And going for the Champions League, okay? Champion says, I would love Bakayoko as a backup option for Mohamed Salah. I love watching him in the Eredivisie. He's class and fits the counter-attack perfectly. I would love to see him in the future. You'll never walk alone, Leo. I mean, to be fair, he scored against us, right, in the Champions League. He looked very sharp. So, yeah, that could be a potential signing. but how versatile is Bakayoko? Like, could he play on the left as well? Because I think whoever, I think whoever we end up getting, I can see I can see it being a very versatile attacker. And for me, the two names that come to mind are Anthony Gordon from Newcastle, because he can play very naturally. Probably his best position is left wing, but I've seen him play very well on the right wing for Newcastle too. So I think whoever, when we go for a winger, if let's say Lucho leaves or Chiesa leaves or Darwin leave, I could see us going for someone that is very versatile. Like I said, a Rodrigo, who's shown his preferred position is left wing, but he's played many a times. He's primarily played on the right wing for Real Madrid because he's had to with Vinny and everything. But I think, yeah, Anthony Gordon or a Vinny type player. Sorry, not Vinny. Anthony Gordon or a Rodrigo type player, I think is what we could go for. But yeah, I'm very excited. Babat says, Leo, on their day, who's a better winger, Lucho or Cody? For me, Lucho all around is a better player, but he's also older, so he's been around longer. He's 28, Gakpo is 24, 25. So it's a bit unfair to compare them, because also Lucho's been here longer, but on his day, Lucho, I mean, I think back, I was at that game. Guys, do you remember that game where we drew 1-1 to City at Anfield? I was there that day. He was absolutely unstoppable. He literally like completely turned the City defense upside down. He's an absolute monster on his day. And I think this season he has been our second best attacker. So I would say Lucho, but again, you have to think about the age, the fact that Lucho is older and everything else. But I do think, yes, as of right now, I would say he's on his best day, he's better than Cody Gakpo on his best day, personally. And what he brings defensively as well. When you think about the shift he puts in terms of his pressing and the energy and all of that, he's absolutely incredible. My favorite all-time player is right above me, Stevie G. That man, Stevie G. Oh man, the buzz is too high, you guys. The buzz is way too high. Football King says, will Ben Doak stay at Liverpool next season? But because when he was not injured, he was really good for Middlesbrough in the Championship. Yeah, I've seen that, but I think there's a good chance he leaves this summer. Why? Because it seems like Everton are really interested in a permanent move, Crystal Palace, and I think if a few Premier League clubs are interested, we could probably get a fee around £25 million. And if that comes in, I think we would accept it, because he's just not going to get playing time for Liverpool. And I don't know how many seasons we want to loan him out, So I think I could see him leaving on a permanent this summer for sure. I could see it. Even though, yeah, he did really impress in the Championship, but in the final third, I don't think he has that I don't think he's, in terms of his finishing, he's quite there yet. So I don't think that we're going to give him a proper opportunity next season. And therefore, I think he could leave on a permanent. I really could see it happening. Ooh, congratulations. Ashwini says, I was watching my cricket GOAT win the league trophy for the first time ever. Congrats, bro. Is Frimpong homegrown? Yes, Frimpong counts as homegrown. Absolutely, I can confirm that. Absolutely. Thank you, Subas. I appreciate the kind words. Thank you. Although I did make a mistake, I also run the account Liverpool Goals, and I made a mistake, but I put out a story, acknowledging the mistake and telling Wirtz that if he ever wants to come over, then we can do an exclusive and make sure it's only truth, So I'm going to be more careful. Thoughts, Leon Bajcetic this season? I would love for him to get an opportunity, but similar to Ben Doak, I think if Bajcetic doesn't impress Slot in preseason for whatever reason, whether it be in training or he doesn't think that he suits a system, I could even see him leaving on a permanent, because Slot doesn't seem like the manager that's going to give players that much time to develop and get game time here and there. We saw it this season. He could have given more minutes to Harvey. He just didn't. So I think whatever youngsters Slot doesn't see having a really high ceiling, I don't think we're going to keep them around for long. And I think if we can get decent transfer fees for them, we'd let them go. But I really do hope that Bajcetic is one of those players where Slot sees the high ceiling he can get to, and that he can be that squad player to give Gravenberch certain rest this season in cup competitions or in certain Champions League matches. I would love that for Bajcetic because for me, he has such a high ceiling. In that season when we had that midfield injury crisis, I thought he was absolutely superb, and I love watching him as a player. I just think he has that silk. He looks like a Barca type player, who can play tiki-taka football, so good on the ball, full of confidence. He just looks like he has what it takes to make it at a huge football club like Liverpool. And I want Stefan Bajcetic to get his opportunity. Absolutely. I think he needs to. But again, obviously it all depends on what Slot sees in preseason. And the reports are saying that Slot is willing to give him a chance in preseason. So it all depends on how he impresses during that tour. It all depends on that. Babat says, I completely agree, and that's why I think we should push to keep Lucho, which it doesn't feel like right now. I think, Babat, we definitely want to keep Lucho unless a massive fee comes in. Why? I think, and I think this is great news. Michael Edwards, Richard Hughes, those in charge behind the scenes within the recruitment team, they're brutal now. There's no more loyalty at Liverpool Football Club like there was during the Jurgen Klopp time. I think now, if we get a really good fee for a player like Lucho, who's already 28 years old and whose contract extension would cost a lot of money for the football club, I think like I said, those in charge behind the scenes, if they think they get a value that's probably more than what he's worth, they will accept it because they'll back themselves to go for a younger player in the market who has a higher ceiling. Like I said, it could be an Anthony Gordon or Rodrigo, but I definitely don't think we'll sell Lucho unless it's a massive fee in the range of, let's say, 80 to 90 million, which I can see Saudi paying because apparently he's the top priority target for certain Saudi clubs. So I could see that happening this summer, but I can also see Darwin going to Saudi. So yeah, this summer could be, I have a feeling it's going to be the biggest yet because like I was saying, Frimpong is already a done deal. Kerkez and Wirtz looks like we're on the verge of getting the here we goes. And then depending on how we sell certain players this summer, we'll go back in for more players. And I think apart from a few players like, let's say, Virgil, Salah, McAllister, certain players in our team who I do think are unsellable because they're just at a world-class elite level in terms of consistency that they've shown. I think other players, like I said, we are willing to have talks about just because our recruitment team will back us to find even better in the market. That's what I think we're at. And that's not a bad place to be because, to be honest, whoever does end up leaving, let's say a Darwin, I fully back our recruitment team to find someone who's going to elevate us to an even higher level. And that's why I'm absolutely buzzing about the place that this football club is in right now, because I just fully back and many football clubs are worried, like Arsenal fans, for example, I know are worried about the type of players they bring in, about their recruitment process. I have full trust. So I'm just like relaxed about the business we get done. You know what I mean? Yeah, it looks like Ryan Cherki is going to be off to Man City. It looks like very much so. Yeah, Batman. Like I said, in this slot era, absolutely, it looks like it's brutal. It's brutal, the slot era. We only want players of the highest quality. And there's no time for real development because of the elite standards our team is already at right now, Unless it's a young talent who has elite ability, like a Florian Wirtz, one of the best in the world, and he's only just turned 22. Andre says, who do you think will leave this summer? I think Lucho and Darwin. I kind of have a feeling that Jota is staying and we'll get another versatile, quick striker to change with Jota. I could see that happening 100%. But like I was mentioning, Andre, already Trent has left for £10 million. Keller has left for £18 million. I could see one of Kwanzaa or Gomez leaving. I can see Costas leaving. I can see Harvey Elliott leaving. I can see Tyler Morton leaving. I can see Darwin leaving. And I could see one of, like I was saying before, Jota, Chiesa, or Lucho. One of those three, depending on how big of a bid comes in for them, I think one of those three will leave as well. So, yeah, we'll keep an eye out on it. Yeah, Garve, I'll be live tonight for the Germany-Portugal game for Wirtz Watch. Yo, let's go. Ansel, you best believe I'll bring joy to you because I got that buzz. The whole summer, I think I'm going to have that buzz seeing how serious we are in the transfer market. Oh, man, oh man. But Jota, I think we wouldn't sell him unless we got a 40 to 50 million bid. I don't think unless we got a 40 to 50 million bid because Jota is is Premier League proven. And as a squad player, he's fantastic. He's also someone that can play on the left. He's versatile. So I think Jota, there's a good chance he stays. Like I said, unless a 40 to 50 million pound bid comes in, then I think we'd definitely consider it. No doubt about it. But he would be more of a squad player next season. System says, Leo, have you ever thought about Jota scoring a lot of goals since Wirtz is joining? I mean, Wirtz can give Jota some great passes, and Jota is a great finisher. That's a good point. I could see it. But System, the big thing about Jota is just, can he stay fit? I think he was still dragging on some injuries towards the end of the season. He didn't look like himself. If he can stay fit, we know how unbelievable Jota is. But that's the big question mark. And that's why, like I said, if a pretty big bid did come in for Diogo Jota, I think we'd consider it. No doubt about it, we'd consider it. Big up Mudkips, thank you very much for the super chat. I appreciate you, bro. Who says, do you think we're getting Wirtz or Kerkez first? I think Kerkez. I think we'll get Milos Kerkez. The here we go before we get the Wirtz one. I think it could come today. Genuinely, I think it could come today, if not tomorrow. Whereas the Wirtz one, I think will take a bit more time, but will come very soon. I think it should come before June 10th when the window closes again for that around the Club World Cup stuff. But yeah, I think Kerkez will come first and then Wirtz. That's my personal prediction. Yeah, I feel for him too. I feel for Jota as well. Absolutely, I do. Love it. Refbo says, Leo, Liverpool is going to Hong Kong for preseason games against AC Milan and I got tickets to watch. First time seeing Liverpool live. I even got tickets for open training so I may see some players. I'm buzzing for you, bro. That's going to be unbelievable. To see the Reds live for the first time. Enjoy it. I'm hyped for you. Hincapi, I don't think Leverkusen are going to want to sell another key player. They've already sold, like, the Tao will have left on a free. Wirtz looks like he's leaving. Frimpong's already left. I don't think they'd sell another key player. I can't see that happening because they definitely don't need money at this point. They'll have loads of money. Definitely, I don't see them selling Hincapi for any price, the one that you mentioned. There are rumors about Marguehi. I could definitely see him as a squad player for us. Absolutely. If, like I said, Joe Gomez or Kwanzaa leave, I think Marguehi only from Crystal Palace. I think he has 1 year left, if I'm not mistaken. Let me double check that. If he has 1 year left, Crystal Palace, 1 year left, transfer market contract. Let me check. Contract expiring? No, not in 2025. Let me check. Contract expiring in 2026. So that's next summer. Let's check. Yeah, Marguehi. So his contract expires in the summer of 2026. Same with Mateta, actually. Oh, wow, I'm surprised by that. Mateta's contract also. He's a good player, but a bit older. He's 27. But Marguehi, you guys, he's just 24 years old. His contract ends next summer. I could definitely see that being an opportunistic signing. Absolutely. Because he'll fill a homegrown spot since he's English. He's proven at the highest level. Look at how he performed for England at the Euros. And he's young, 24. Definitely, I could see that happening. Marguehi is one to look out for. Like I said, I think they'll have to sell for a cheaper price. And he'll want to leave Crystal Palace with a lot of top clubs interested. I could see him leaving Palace for 30 to 40 million this summer. And if that's the price, I think we see it as an opportunistic signing and we go for it. I could absolutely see that being one as a backup. And like I said, one of Kwanzaa or Gomez I could see leaving. And then definitely Costas I think will leave. But our left back situation's already sorted since Kerkez, at least seems like we're on the verge of it, you know? Do you think Mamardashvili will play the group stages of the Champions League? Nah, I think Alisson will be our goalkeeper in the Premier League and Champions League. And for now, Mamardashvili will have to be our cup competition keeper. I just don't see us not playing Alisson in the Champions League, given how important the Champions League is. And the fact that he will continue to be our number one. With the way he's playing, you can't drop him. Tax 1904, I'm a bit disappointed that Kelleher didn't get his chance to eventually become the number one at Liverpool just because he's been so brilliant as a backup. Like, I don't think we could have asked more from him over the years. He's just been exemplary. He's been the ultimate team player and everything else. But at the same time, I trust those behind the scenes. I go back to it. They probably think the ceiling of Mamardashvili is a lot higher than Kelleher. And that's why I think we've decided to do this. So we've sold Kelleher for around £18 million. And we've brought in Mamardashvili for around 25. I think around 25 million pounds. So around the same price, not much difference. And they probably see, again, Mamardashvili's ceiling being much higher. And that's why they've done it. So I have to back them, But I'm just a bit disappointed that we've let him go because, like I said, you can't ask much more from him in terms of a backup. So I thought he would eventually deserved the number one position. But again, we're not the ones that are doing the long-term planning for the future, and they probably see him as the next best Alisson for the future once he leaves, Alisson will probably leave in the next 2 years, I think Kerkez, I don't think Ibou Konate will leave. The reason why is because next season, I think having a channel defender like Ibou Konate, who's extremely quick, who can really bring a lot of support for whoever that right back is, I think Ibou Konate is one of the best in the world at that. And given that Frimpong will start a decent amount of games, we'll need a player like Ibou Konate to protect, to shield Frimpong when he makes those forward runs. So I think we're going to do everything we can to keep Ibou at the club. And I think Konate will end up staying. That's my personal prediction. But I can still see us signing a center back like a Gehi or like a Jorel Hato, just because we need that depth. And I like I said, I think one of Joe Gomez or Kwanzaa will leave as well. You can call me Flo. Love that, like Flo Wirtz. That's beautiful. Orange, we're just on the verge of Wirtz. We're absolutely on the verge of signing Flo. Right now, we've agreed personal terms. It seems like that was never an issue. He only wants to join Liverpool. The only details that are left is they want a total package of 150 million euros. We want a package closer to 130 million euros. That's what we've already offered. I think we're going to find something in between. My personal prediction is right now it's just about basically agreeing on the final installments. And what I mean by installments, it's stuff like if Liverpool win the Champions League, Bayer Leverkusen would get £5 million, for example. If Wirtz is the top assister in the league, there would be a clause, for example, in his contract where Leverkusen get 5 million euros. So it's clauses like that are paid in installments, depending on how he does, that will reach, I think, around the 140 million mark, which is around 118 million pounds. That's where I think we're going to find an agreement. And I think it's just, here we flow, baby. I think it's just about getting those final little details agreed upon in installments. That's what Fabrizio has said. And that's why I think we're just on the verge of it. And trust me, Florian Wirtz would not have put out a public, bro, he's huge. He's one of the most prized possessions in football. He would not have come out publicly without briefing his agent, for example. No way he would have done that unless it's on the verge. And the fact that he's spoken about the Liverpool move on his story without denying it says everything, you guys. Trust me, it says everything. Orange, I appreciate you. Mies, yes, I'm so excited, guys. For those of you that can join, we're going to do a live watch along for the Germany-Portugal game, the semi-finals of the Nations League. Florian Wirtz, Nagelsmann has already confirmed that he's going to start for Germany. And so, yeah, we're going to be on Wirtz watch tonight. We're going to be a flow watch. But yeah, like I said, I'm telling you, the price, Taran, my guess is it's going to be around the 140 million euro mark with all installments included, which will be a Premier League record. It's going to surpass Moises Caicedo. Moises Caicedo from Brighton to Chelsea was 115 million pounds. This, it looks like, will be around 118 million pounds. And for me, I think if there's anyone that's deserving of a record price, I think it's an attacking magician type player like Flo Wirtz. I was watching his compilations last night before bed to have some sweet dreams. And boy, did I wake up with a buzz, you guys. I was watching some compilations before bed and I saw a lot of moments where he was linking up with Jeremy Frimpong. He had it in like the midfield area, and he pinged it on the right hand side. And since Frimpong is so rapid, many times Frimpong was able to get on the end of his passes. And when I was watching that, I got double excited because obviously we've already gotten Frimpong in. They have that chemistry together already. And then imagine you have the quality of Mohamed Salah on the right hand side too. It's finished, bro. It's finished business for the opposition. Flo, Wirtz, feeding Frimpong, Mohamed Salah. I can't, guys. That right-hand side is just going to be the best in the world. I'm too excited. I'm not going to be able to contain myself this entire summer, you guys. When these deals get over the line, I'm not going to be able to contain myself the entire summer. It's finished for me. Neil Thompson. Yeah, you don't do a post like that unless you're on the verge of finding an agreement. There's no way. And that's why a lot of us were absolutely buzzing seeing that. Thoughts on the Zubimendi deal falling off? I'm not so sure it's fallen off yet. I don't think it's fallen off yet, but it's close. Salah will be even scarier next season. Cut. That's what I'm buzzing about right now. Think about it. If you're the opposition, the energy and the pace and the threat that Jeremy Frimpong will bring going forward, just imagine you're the left center back or the left back of the opposition of Liverpool, and you have the danger that Frimpong will bring making those runs around, right? Bring those runs around. And then you have Mohamed Salah, who can either find Frimpong, who's going to make those overlapping runs, or he can turn inside and go for his trademark with his left foot, top right-hand corner or bottom right left-hand corner, I mean. He can go for that or find Frimpong on the overlapping run. That's going to make it even more difficult to defend. That's going to make it even more difficult to defend against Mohamed Salah, because we're going to have that added threat of the creative passes that Wirtz will be able to find and the overlapping runs that Frimpong will be able to bring. So it's going to make it even more difficult to kind of double mark, I guess you could say, Mohamed Salah, which many teams were doing last season since he was the best, one, if not the best player in the world. I went to a few of the games and they constantly had just two players on Mohamed Salah. But next season, if they do that, then we're going to hurt them even more. So I'm too excited. I can't. Jalapeno says, when will Georgi Mamadashvili be announced? I'm not sure. Definitely when he comes. I'm not sure actually when. He's probably on a bit of a break right now because he had that season in La Liga, but yeah, I'm not sure. There hasn't been any news on that, to be honest. There hasn't been. Big up Sparky. I want W's in the building. Sparky has been a community support member for 17 months. That's wild, bro. I appreciate you and your support. Guys, W's in the building. Sparky, can you spam the new emoji, by the way, of the Frimpong sticker that I just added yesterday? We just added that yesterday. Yeah, I mean, the threat Kerkez is going to bring on the left-hand side, he's going to bring us around 5 goals a season, bro. That's how good, that's where he's completely different profile to Robbo. Robbo is unbelievable with his assists, and we saw prime Robbo, wow, the threat he brought. But let me tell you something, you guys. Kerkez, in terms of goals he can bring as well, absolutely fantastic. So I can't wait for that, because he's gonna bring an added threat on the left-hand side. But yeah, Mark Gahey, it's a good point. I think we got to keep a lookout on that, because like I said, his contract will expire next summer. So I think he'll leave Crystal Palace 100% this summer. And I think that's the type of opportunistic signing who will fill a homegrown spot that will be all over, is my personal prediction. Yeah, guys, for all the members in the building, can you spam the Kelleher emoji one last time? Because there's a chance that emoji will leave this summer. When the Wirtz or the Kerkez deal get over the line, I will have to replace Kelleher probably with one of the new signings. So, guys, can we spam that Kelleher emoji? Because I know how much all of us in the building love him and appreciate all that he did over the years for us. He was at the club since he was 17, I believe. Pamela, I'm doing well. I'm buzzing right now. I'm buzzing, absolutely buzzing. I just can't wait for the Here We Goes to come. Do you think Trent will ever return? I don't want him to return, honestly. I don't want Trent to return. I don't want a third. How long did he? I think he signed like a 6-year deal with Madrid. I don't want him to come back when he's like 32 and his legs are I don't want that personally. But I do want him and Real Madrid to come to Anfield because the atmosphere will be wild. So I really do want Trent to come back to Anfield next season, but as a rival player, because the atmosphere will be on absolute flames if that happens. And with the new Champions League format, I think there's a decent chance it could happen, like it happened last season. I think it would be fantastic to see that. Big up Jalapeno, who's been a channel legend member for 11 months as well. I appreciate the support, bro. Who says Kelleher is probably the one transfer I'll feel really sad about this year. Yeah, bro, I loved him to bits. And the biggest compliment, if there's any Brentford fans, there's probably no Brentford fans in the building, but if there's any Brentford fans, the two biggest compliments I think you could give him, which just shows the class keeper you're about to sign, is one, we called him Kelleher Becker, which is like the biggest compliment you can pay a keeper, because Alisson is the best I've seen. He's just the most complete goalkeeper. He's everything you would want in a goalkeeper. And the fact that we gave him that nickname says a lot. And then number two, Alisson over the years has been pretty injury prone. All those moments where Alisson picked up those injuries, I was never worried for a moment. And for example, this season, I think 10 league games he stepped up for us. Nobody in the media ever talked about Alisson being out, even though it could be a big talking point. Why? Because Kelleher so seamlessly came into the team. And to seamlessly come in for Alisson means you really are a serious keeper. You know what I mean? So that, I think that's the biggest respect we can pay him. And it just shows the levels, you know, and I have so much respect for that, because I think it must be hard being a goalkeeper who's always sat on the bench and then suddenly having to step up and have the pressure on your shoulders. Like, for example, that week this season or last season where we played City and Real Madrid, he had to step up during that week. Imagine the pressure on his shoulders if he had made a mistake or something like that. That could cost us the game. But no, instead he stepped up. He saved a penalty from Kylian Mbappe, made key saves, and that says it all. He's just absolutely top quality. Dice Chi says, are we more sure about Diaz staying or leaving? What's the percentage chance? For me, it's 50-50 right now. I do think Slot wants to keep him. I think the club wants to keep him, but it seems like there's a lot of interest for him this summer. And like I said, if a big bid comes in from Saudi this summer, so 80 to 90 million, I think we do accept it. I think we do. Because like I said before, not only his age, but also the fact that if we don't sell him this summer, then we'd have to offer him a contract extension, because he can't continue to be paid 55,000 a week. He's just too important of a player for that. So, and if we did offer him a contract extension, that is costly for the club. You know what I mean? Because there's fees involved in that. And obviously it means much higher wages. So I think one or the other happens, and I think it's pretty 50-50 at this point, because he has had a fantastic season, and I think Slot really does want him in his team, because we saw this season just how versatile he can be, you know. But like I said, it all depends on the bid. All depends on the bid. Nathan says Gehi would only happen if Konate doesn't extend his contract. I don't think so. I think if one of Gomez or Kwanzaa leave, which I think there's a decent chance of happening, I think someone like a Gehi could come in. I really think so. And I think Ibu will end up staying. I'm confident Ibu will end up staying. And I don't just mean that because I really love Ibu, but like I said, I think it's very difficult to replace an Ibu Konate in the market. And I think he's proven that he's one of the best channel defenders in the world. And with the high line that we'll probably play next season, in the moments where we play Frimpong and Kerkez, because they're fullbacks that love to go forward, it's even more important having a channel defender like an Ibu Konate, who's so quick, who's so strong, who can really shore up that defense when we play a high line. And that's why I think we'll be desperate to keep Ibu. And I do think if we pay him the money that he deserves, which is probably 160 to 200,000 a week, then I think he'll end up staying. We just have to pay the bucks. We have to pay the money. Yeah, I think Gehi would end up getting game time. I agree, Farhan. With the amount of games we play, we're going to need to rotate more. That's one of the things. I think Slot would have learned this season. One of the reasons we had a drop off towards the end of the season, like for example in the PSG game, that was not us playing at our best. We know we could hit higher levels than that. And I think part of that is just we didn't rotate enough. So of course, like they're not robots, these players. There was going to be a drop off in some of their performances, and I think one of the learning points for Slot is to rotate a bit more. But that's why he needs to bring in players this summer that he truly trusts, so that in the moments we do rotate, we don't lose to the likes of Plymouth. You know, we don't lose those games because we do want to win the FA Cups and other trophies. You know what I mean? Konate also has a great personality. Yeah, the video. But I agree. He's definitely important behind the scenes because he brings the best vibes. Yes, Mukesh, nice to see you back in the building. Shout out to you. How's it going? Thoughts on Christian Romero to Atleti? I could see it happening, for sure. He seems like an Atleti type player, bro, with how aggressive he is on the pitch. He seems like a classic Simeone type player. I could see that happening 100%. 100% I could see it. Yeah, Dean. I think Darwin will definitely go. That I have no doubt about. But Jota, with all of them, it's literally a scenario of, I think many clubs would have been in contact with Liverpool, and I think they would have said to clubs, all of our players you could potentially buy, but it has to be for a high price because we really rate our attackers. And they probably say, apart from Mohamed Salah, who's not sellable, he's priceless for Liverpool. The others, if you come in with a huge bid, we accept it. I think that's where we're at, in my opinion. You know? It will be a Florian Friday. Oh, I hope so, Copite. I hope so. That would be the dream. That would be the absolute dream. Isak to Liverpool, do you see it happening? No chance. No chance. Just like us, for example, I think a lot of players we're willing to sell in our team. I think there's certain players that we've made clear are unsellable. So the likes of Virgil van Dijk, obviously, McAllister, Gravenberg, Mohamed Salah. I think there's certain players where no price would be accepted. And I think for Newcastle, it's the same for them. For example, for an Alexander Isak and Atletico Madrid, I think it's the same for an Alvarez. That there's just no price they want to let them go at. And same with PSG, for example. There's no reason for them to sell a Desiree Doué. No reason for them to sell a Dembele because the club is in a healthy financial position, just like the other two I mentioned. You know what I mean? How's the PSG celebrations? Dean, I didn't go. I only went out for like 10 minutes because I was scared given how crazy the scenes were outside. I didn't want to take that risk because you never know what can happen on kind of chaotic nights like that. So I only went for like 10 minutes. But even in my neighborhood that's usually quiet, is crazy. It was crazy, the celebrations. You know? Is a 4-1-2... We'll have to see. I think Slot will have many ideas ready for next season, given the weapons that he's bringing around. A lot of noise now coming to the form of Rafael Leao. Thoughts, Leo? I think there's a bigger chance. Like I said, we would never sign a Leao unless a Lucho or Gakpo left. And if a Lucho or Gakpo left this summer, I think there's more of a chance of us going big on an Anthony Gordon or Rodrigo. Because like I said, I think they're more versatile attackers. I think we'll want to bring in an attacker that can also play on the right wing so that when Mohamed Salah goes to AFCON, we have someone who can really fill in his position. So yeah, Rafael Leao, I don't think will be one of our main targets. I really don't think so. Flo says the cop will fall in love with Flo within 3 months. I think within 1 week. I think most of us have already fallen in love, bro. I think most of us have already fallen in love. Yeah, Garvey, that's why I don't have a good reputation in my neighborhood. Because usually it's quiet. And then they know on Liverpool match days, the neighborhood is no longer quiet. So yeah, I have a bad reputation. That's for sure. I'm just worried because I'm moving in September. Yo, Jay the journalist is in the building. What's good? So Szobo is a false 9. Sakilan, I could see it happening. But it depends. Let's see who we end up signing this summer. Let's see who we end up signing. No, I don't follow cricket. But I see a lot of you guys in the building do follow cricket, to be fair. Yeah, Pokewind, apparently Wirtz really is going to be given the ownership of the 10 role at Liverpool. So playing in that 10 position where Szoboszlai was basically playing before. So there'll be 2 holding mids and he'll get that free roam kind of position in the attacking areas because we must see him as that much of a game changer that we want to let him shine on the attacking side of things. And I can't wait of the prospect of that. I absolutely cannot wait. Come on. I'm too hyped, you guys, for next season. I'm going to need to calm down. We're going to need to calm down. Stormy says, Leo, would you rather get Gordon or Nico? Gordon's homegrown and prem proven, but Nico's overall better. That's tough. I would be buzzing with both, honestly. I would absolutely be buzzing with both. So, honestly, I can't pick between the two. Pamela says, Leo, I love your confidence about the whole situation around Florian. Yeah. Because like I said, we've never been in a situation like this. So I understand some people having PTSD from the past with the likes of Caicedo, Jude Bellingham, Lavia, the list goes on. But like I said, the main difference here, and he just made it clear again with his story last night, he only wants Liverpool. And we're the only club in for him. And that has never been the situation in the past with the likes of Jude and the other names I mentioned. So it's very different to any situation in the past. Go 12. I could see him maybe taking the 17 shirt at Liverpool. I saw he wore that for Germany. I could see Wirtz taking the 17. Or if Lucho leaves, maybe the number 7. But I think 17 would look good on him. Our starting 11 is looking scary. Oh, yes, indeed. How about Jonathan David? I don't see him coming. Just because I think whatever club he goes to, he's going to want to be the starting number 9. And I don't think that'll happen. I don't think it'll happen. Nah, Maka's keeping the number, Christophe. He's going to stay number 10. And Florian Wirtz is going to have to earn, if he eventually gets the 10, let's see down the line, he'll have to earn it, rightfully so. I don't care what your transfer fee is. And he knows, he just said it with his story. It doesn't matter what your transfer fee was or what you've done in the past. I think when you come into a football club, you have to prove. You have to prove that you're at that level. And there's a lot of pressure when you come into Liverpool Football Club, So Anthony Gordon is a Liverpool fan, so that would be extra motivation for him to be unbelievable. Will we have enough homegrown? I mean, Frimpong is homegrown, and I could see us signing another homegrown player that we'll need this summer, so I don't think that's too much of an issue. But like we were saying before, that's why a Marguehi type signing could be possible. I could see that happening. Absolutely this summer. Will Mamardashvili get game time? Probably as much as Kelaha in the beginning, because Alisson, we saw his levels this season again. Coming back from his injury, he's the best goalkeeper in the world when he's on it. So there's no way that we don't start him. He's just too good. Did you get kicked out of your old apartment? I was on the verge of getting kicked out. I got in major trouble with number of noise complaints, with many people in the building threatening to call the police for the eviction. I was in big trouble. Konate will stay, guys. I hope so. Me too. We need that. Greetings from Malaysia. Big up, brother. Yeah, go 12. Poke Wine says, I just got back from a 7-hour road trip. Damn, where was the road trip from? And this is the first thing I watched. J'adore tes vidéos. Thank you very much, bro. Thanks for the support. Big up. Salah needs someone to finish his assists. Yep, that's what's going to happen this summer. I mean, Gakpo has been finishing it off. But yeah, I think we will bring in a striker. With Darwin leaving, I think we'll end up signing a striker. I just don't know who that is. I'm sorry, I don't know who that is, Dice Cheese. I can't tell you. I can't tell you. We are still here, baby. Let's go. How likely do you think the Ekitike links are? I don't think it's very likely, because Chelsea clearly don't seem to mind spending money, and they seem to really want him. So I think there's a bigger chance he goes to Chelsea. I don't see us spending big money on a Ugo Ekitike unless we think he's the real deal. You know? Bro, I'm gonna be so real. You'll be next level screaming next season due to the incoming signings. Just tell your neighbors in advance. I'm gonna have to, bro. I'm gonna have to. Or you know what? I heard some people were telling me that it's possible to put like noise cancellations installments in a room apparently. So maybe I need to do that. Do you guys know about that? Apparently it's something you can kind of install, and it brings down the noise for others. Apparently that's a thing, so I'm gonna look into that for next season. Because with the signings this summer, I think that's gonna be needed. Otherwise, like the place I'm moving into September, I'm gonna have to I'm gonna be evicted. Otherwise, you know, I can't. It's bad. Get the Xboxes up, lad. I can't wait for Florian. Me too, John. Now you'll just get a quadruple of... Oh, God. You'll get in trouble again, Leo. Watching Flow tonight. Oh, God. Oh, Poke says, I did put noise canceling foam over my room because I was listening to Green Day loudly. Wait, so it's just foam blocks that are shaped to absorb sound. That's what I'm going to get. I have to get that because seriously, I just know I'm going to get in big trouble next season. I have a feeling that we're going to have a special season. So again, I'm going to need to do that over the summer or in September at least. Dean says, I'm gutted, Leo. I can't watch you later because I'm working, but I really hope Wirtz has a blinder. Oh, I'm so excited for it. But Dean, I'll be live tomorrow night too because there's the Spain-France game. That should be a great one too. Hopefully, Ibou Konate will start for France as well. I think he should. It seems like he's a starter now for Didier Deschamps. What about Sorloth? No, I don't think he's the type of striker. Yo, Charlotte, nice to see you in the building. Says Leo, are you still friends with the guy who got you supporting Liverpool? No, I'm not. We lost touch. I'm not anymore. I'm not anymore, unfortunately. was so little when that happened, and I ended up moving to the US, you know, so there's only really one friend I kept in touch with, because I left Iceland when I was 9 years old, and so, you know, it was hard back then to keep in touch, really. Thank you, Sunil, for the kind words. Big up to you. You can have soundproofing installed professionally, Leo. Not sure what you wish to spend. Yeah, I gotta see copy. How much do you think it would cost to do like a soundproofing installed professionally? How much do you think that would cost? Because honestly, I think it would be worth it given how many games I'm gonna be streaming next season and stuff. You know, like I just like it would be so nice to know that I don't have to be careful. Because like in the last apartment I was in, I had to hold back on just emotions because genuinely I was scared of getting evicted. Like I know I was kidding around, but I wasn't completely kidding around because genuinely, like, people in the building were really pissed at me. Like, genuinely. Leo, what's the situation around our striker? I think first we're gonna sell Darwin, and we're probably still doing a lot of research on who that striker could potentially be, but I don't know. There isn't really an elite striker available in the market, so I think it's possible we instead go for a very versatile attacker who can play down the middle as well. You know, because we saw Slot using Lucho down the middle at many moments last season, and it did work. Like that 4-0 win against Leverkusen, one of our best games of last season in the Champions League. Lucho started down the middle and he scored a hat trick, you know? So I don't think we're necessarily going to go for a traditional 9, you know? Charlotte says, so fair. Would have been cool to see you guys vlog a match together. I get it, though I've moved back and forth between US and UK all my life. Yeah, especially at that age too. You know what I mean? I feel like when you're older, it's different. But like childhood relationships are a bit different, you know? But I did keep in touch with one close friend from Iceland when I was a kid. But he's actually a Man United fan. And you guys have seen him on the channel. We streamed the 2-2 together in January. His name is Tarvaldur. He's the one that you guys say looks like who are you saying looks like? I forget his name. Mudryk. Yeah, Mudryk. You guys say he looks like Mudryk. Lazy Iguana says, I'm in love with Mateta and Eze. I could see Mateta leaving. I was just checking, and his contract expires next summer. He's 27 years old. His contract expires next summer, just like Mark Gahey. So I think Crystal Palace will probably have to sell Gahey and Mateta this summer because I think both players will back themselves to go to a club, like maybe a top 6 club, and they won't want to lose them on a free. So I think both of those players, I think, could leave Crystal Palace this summer. I could see happening, but not Eze. I don't think they'll want to sell Eze. But like I said, those two, I think, probably won't sign extensions, and therefore they'll want to sell this summer for a cheaper price. So maybe Mateta is one that we look for, you know? I don't know. He's 27. Let's see when he turns 28. Mateta. He turns 28 all this month. So he's not that young. Jean-Philippe Mateta. He turns 28 in like 20 days. I don't know. Yo, Tom, nice to see you in the building. How'd your exam go? Hoyland? Nah, we're not getting Hoyland. No chance. We need to upgrade on Darwin. Hopefully the here we goes this week, bro, for Florian Wirtz. We need it. Because the window closes again on the 10th, guys. On the 10th. So what are we today? The 4th of June. So we're Wednesday. It closes next week. And then it'll open back up. No, Zeni, Florian Wirtz will play tonight. Nagelsmann confirmed it. So, yeah, Florian Wirtz will start tonight. So that's why I'm hyped to watch him. It's a really important game for Germany, you know? It seems like, especially given the World Cup is next summer, trust me, the national teams, whatever opportunities they have to play their strongest teams, they will, because the managers will want to get ready in the best possible way for the World Cup next summer. Obviously, that's going to be in the US, Canada, and Mexico. So, yeah, I think it's going to be the strongest possible German team tonight, and that obviously includes Florian Wirtz in it. Oh, I would love Malik Fofana. I could see that transfer happening. Absolutely. He looked fantastic. Well, I've only watched him about twice, but he really stood out to me. He really stood out, especially in the game at Old Trafford. And this season, he got 9 goal contributions for Lyon, and he's 20 years old, bro. He turned 20 years old just a few months ago, and he got 9 goal contributions in Ligue 1. So he's a quality young player. Quality. I understand why we're linked with him. Babat, are you talking about Football Manager for the simulation? I feel like World Cups. Why is the World Cup going to be bad for you? I'm so excited for it. Oh, guys, Paul Joyce has just put out an article on Lucho. Let's have a look on Luis Diaz. Let's have a look here. The latest on Luis Diaz's future. Breaking news, you guys. Liverpool not looking to sell Luis Diaz despite Saudi speculation. Guys, Liverpool have no plans to open talks with Diaz, who has just 2 years left. Wait, that's weird. This I don't understand though. Wait, guys, listen to how weird, right? Paul Joyce is one of the most reliable journalists. So the article title is Liverpool not looking to sell Luis Diaz despite Saudi speculation. The Colombian forward has also been linked with Barcelona, but the Premier League champions say they have not received any real interest in the 28-year-old. But what I don't understand is in the same article, it says Liverpool have no plans to open talks with Diaz, who has 2 years left on his existing deal and will turn 29 midway through next season. That's what I don't understand in the article. I'm so confused. Because, like, guys, I'll be honest, I always like to put myself in the shoes of the player and the agent. And if I'm Luis Diaz and you're telling me that Liverpool isn't looking, wants to keep you, but not looking for a contract extension, I would want to leave the club. You know what I mean? That's what I don't understand. I know, but Zenit LFC, if we think he's going to be on the decline already next season and we're not willing to offer him a new deal, then it would make sense to sell him this summer. You know what I mean? I know, Charlotte, but I'm just thinking from the point of view of a Luis Diaz, of a Lucho. For me, I would go to the club and I would say, look, Saudi wants me. I'd be happy to stay at the club, but you have to offer me 200,000 a week because I'm a key starting attacker for Liverpool. I was the second best attacker for you in the Premier League title win, so I deserve 200,000 a week, or I'm gonna leave. Which honestly, that's fair. Like, let's be real. Open talks for new contracts. That means that's what I mean. It says Liverpool have no plans to open talks with Diaz, who has 2 years left on his existing deal and will turn 29 midway through next season. Do you get what I'm saying? That's what I mean. That's what I mean, that I'm a bit confused by. But I agree, we don't know what our wage bill will look like, but you think Lucho cares about that? He wants to be extremely valued given the season he's had. You know what I mean? And I would want the same if I was the second best attacker. You know what I mean? You guys get what I'm saying? Ready for Wirtz tonight? I'm hyped about Wirtz tonight, bro. Absolutely hyped about Wirtz tonight. I just saw that I can't watch the game today because it's at 3 a.m. Oh no. Yeah, it's a late night kickoff. Same with the one tomorrow. Same with the one tomorrow. It's also. Sorry, I was just posting the Diaz news. You guys. Because Paul Joyce is the most reliable there is. Do you think Liverpool try to sign a striker or a center back? Yeah, I think the next two that we would look after we get hopefully these two done, the next two positions I think will be those positions. Happy birthday to you, Hamza, in the building. You'll never walk alone. Wirtz X Salah is about to silence the rivals. Yes, bro. What do you think about Wirtz playing in the false nine? I could see that being an option. That's the beauty about Florian Wirtz. Whether he's played in the 10 role, in the false nine, or on the left wing, he will be a difference maker for us. And we've seen that time and time again. I mean, when you look at his stats for Leverkusen, he's played in those positions and he's continued to deliver. So that's the beauty with him. He brings that versatility, but no matter what, he obviously will be a starter in the team. You don't pay record transfer fees if he's not a guaranteed starter in the team. No way. Zeni says, game is at 5 a.m. for me, but I will be waking up for the Wirtz watch. Damn, Zeni. So hopefully I'll see you tonight for the watch along. That's 5 a.m. So you need to go to sleep early. You need to go to sleep real early. Cheers from Romania. God, I really want to visit Romania. I've heard my parents recently went there and they said the food was unbelievable in Romania. So I really want to go. I really want to go. What a window so far. Yes. Yeah, I'll come in. It's currently 9:10 p.m., so gotta sleep soon. Oof. Yeah. What will happen to Federico Chiesa? He'll stay unless a 20 million plus bid comes in, either from a Napoli, Juve. It seems like there is interest from Italy. We'll have to see. But yeah, I think if there's a 20 million plus bid that comes in, we'd sell. Because clearly Slot doesn't see him as a starter. And Chiesa said he needs regular minutes because he's desperate to play for Italy at the World Cup next summer. And if he's going to play as little as he did this season for Slot, he's not going to be picked for the Italian national team. So whatever happens, I'm telling you guys, Federico Chiesa is either going to need guarantees from Slot that he's going to get a lot of minutes next season, or he's going to leave back to Italy, I think. Just because, like I said, he hasn't been picked recently in the Italian team just because he's barely been playing. You know what I mean? And that, from the recent interview where he came out, he seemed really, really sad about that because he wants to play for his nation, obviously. He used to be a key player for the Italian national team, and now he's no longer that. So he's definitely, he's going to need to be guaranteed something. He's going to need to be guaranteed something this summer because, like I said, he's going to want to start for Italy at the World Cup next summer. No doubt about it. Uni is a cherry says, oh, how sad I am. Hoysen, Kerkez, and maybe Zabarni to PSG. Hope we scout some good replacements. I mean, knowing you, I think you're going to find fantastic replacements, to be honest. I think you're going to find fantastic replacements. No doubt about it. For Slot Blue, don't be pissed though, because I'm telling you, Chiesa, something's going to happen with Chiesa. Either somehow Slot now sees him as an important squad player next season, or he leaves, I'm telling you. But there's no way he would continue. We would do that for him in his career, given how much of a model professional he's been. There's no way we would just let him rot on the bench for another season. No way. Because the World Cup is just too important to him. Trust me. There's just no way. Yeah, chess professional. It just all depends whether that big bid comes in for Lucho. And the latest article from Paul Joyce is saying that, look, this is the quote from it. For the second successive summer, the future of Diaz, who's currently 28, has been the subject of fierce speculation, with the Saudi Pro League side Al Nassr, who were ready to pay up to 85 million euros for Diaz, and Barcelona have been linked with him as well. A year ago, Man City were also saying that they have a strong interest. So, yeah. No bid has come in so far. No bid has come in for him. But like you were saying, if a big bid comes in for him, I could see it happening. And Blue, me too. I've fallen in love with Chiesa. Even with a little amount of game time he's had at Liverpool, he's just brings the best vibes. And like I said, he's clearly the ultimate team player because he's never complained this season despite barely getting any game time. He's just positive vibes. I want the best for him. And if that means leaving Liverpool this summer so that he gets regular minutes, I want that for him because I want that. Exactly. Go12 says, I want the 2021 Euros Chiesa back, and hopefully he's a starter for Italy at the World Cup because he's a joy to watch when he's at his best. He's an absolute joy to watch. And I hope he finds that love for football again and that he stays injury free, you know? But yeah, I think the article from Paul Joyce is really saying, Sally, happy birthday to you. Thank you for the support on the channel. Leo, do you think we can get the wrap up the Wirtz deal by Friday? Hopefully, bro. Fingers crossed. I think it should happen before June 10th when the transfer window closes again. But yeah, I think that article from Paul Joyce is also just sending a clear message from the club that they don't want to sell Lucho and definitely won't be selling Lucho on a cheap. That it would take a big offer for him to leave, and rightfully so, because he's a class player. He was our second best attacker this season. You know what I mean? And because he has 2 years left on his deal as well, because of that, we're not in a hurry to let him go or offer him a new deal, really. Happy birthday to your brother, Hamza. You'll never walk alone, bro. I hope you have the best day and that you get a Kerkez, here we go. Or I don't think the Wirtz, here we go, will happen today, but a Kerkez, here we go for you on your birthday. Jaden Dans is in the building. What's good? Who should we sign besides Wirtz and Kerkez? A striker and a center back. Those are the next two we got to go for. Those are the next two. Yeah, peace. If Chiesa ends up staying, then I could see him playing in Salah's position, but we'll see. I think there's still a lot of movement to come. I think there's going to be a lot of movement to come this summer. So I think, yeah, our attack could look completely different by August time. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Thinking we get Kerkez, here we go today, and Wirtz by Friday. I hope so. And Dice Cheese, I also want Budgetic to get a chance. How long is AFCON? Bro, I think it starts middle of December and ends beginning of February. So it's pretty long. Like, we're really going to need a player to step up when Salah is away, you know, because he was so good during that busy period. This December was his best month, you know what I mean? So to be losing him for half the month is a real blow. Let's be honest, it's a real blow. Football, Hannah, I think a versatile winger is more realistic for what we go for next, because the striker options this summer, like we were saying, are not great. Let's be honest. They're not great. And are we willing to fork out big money on a player that would be a risk like Darwin was? I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure we're willing to do that again, unless it's a guaranteed goal scorer or a player who guarantees fits slots, ideas, and plans for next season. That's it. And that seems like a difficult thing. Happy birthday to you, Mac. Hopefully you get a here we go for your birthday as well. Mr. Sriyam, thank you for subscribing to the channel. Big up to you. It's like the break just started, but I feel like we need to see Liverpool play. I'm so impatient. Me too. Flo versus Ronaldo tonight. Absolutely, Oliver. They're the two players we put on the thumbnail for tonight. So very, very excited. But yeah, you guys, I'm going to go have lunch now. But I appreciate all of you guys in the building. So much good news and exciting news to come. Hopefully, maybe this afternoon there'll be another breaking live if Kerkez deal is done. We'll see. But yeah, you guys, what's for sure is I will see you tonight. For those of you that can make it, I'll be live 5 minutes before kickoff. So around around 7:55 p.m. UK time will be the Deliora, Kerkez is absolutely nice to see you in the building, by the way. I hope you're doing okay. But yeah, Deliora, I think the three that we've signed are almost guaranteed starters. Less Frimpong because he's going to have to fight with Connor Bradley. But I think from match week 1, Kerkez starts at left back. From match week 1, Florian Wirtz would start somewhere in our team. No doubt about it. You don't pay big money like that unless they're guaranteed starters, trust me. And they're big upgrades. But yeah, unfortunately, guys, yeah, bad time. Delior, you just joined on when I'm about to have lunch. But yeah, guys, take care. Like I said, I will 100% see you guys tonight for the Florian Wirtz watch because Germany takes on Portugal. And yeah, you guys, I will see you very, very soon. But hopefully in between time, we see here we go for Kerkez. Fingers crossed. Big up, everybody. See you soon. Oh no, you just woke up. Well, Delior, I'll be back live tonight for the game, like I said, because we want to be on Florian Wirtz watch, and he's definitely starting for